I think this event, which has become a staple in their marketing PR strategy every September before the holiday season, is a great way for them to step back and really reframe the context and take more of a long-term approach to their product strategy. And there's a few exciting things that are being buzzed about that will come out of it. So one is the iPhone, as you mentioned, is the core of their business. It's about 52% of their revenue, and they're going to talk a lot about what the upgraded features are for that, upgrade in the camera, the operating system, new functionality around Force Touch, and things like that. The question, of course, longer term is, what is the saturation point for the iPhone, and how much do these upgrades that they do periodically lead to turnover within their core base of people that are willing to switch out and upgrade and basically generate more sales. The other big piece, as you mentioned, that's in terms of their business, just a little bit under 5% of their revenue right now is this other category of which the TV is in. So it's really a small part of their business today, but it's one that's expected to be the headline grabber from this event, just because it starts to set up conversations around disruption, which Apple has certainly done before, and the TV potentially could be the next device through which they disrupt traditional categories where there's big players already entrenched, and Apple's coming in sort of as the underdog and potentially changing the way that things would occur.
So the other products, as you mentioned, could be getting some of the headlines because they are new, flashier, particularly with the Apple TV. But still, the real emphasis is on this iPhone 6 upgrade. And given that it's really more of a redesign rather than a new product, I wonder if it's really enough to convince customers to switch over or perhaps buy a new product.
Yeah, and for example, one of the things that's going to happen is faster processing speed and more memory. So the question out there, and there's certainly precedent, we've seen this in prior years, is what's the willingness to pay for most people to upgrade to having that extra memory so that you can store more content on the phone and do it with a greater speed. So far, it's proven that they've got a really engaged, loyal consumer base, one of the most loyal and engaged in the world, and people are willing to do that. But the questions, I guess, for people are, is there a saturation point that's coming about? And I think that's sort of what the street was thinking or seeing after the last earnings call, which is one of the factors that went into the correction they've experienced in the past few months.
Kosha, there's been so much buzz about what they could be doing to Apple TV, even though that's really just a very small part of their business, less than 5% really. But there's talk about them going into gaming. I mean, do they really want to take on the big players in gaming like Sony and Microsoft? And I also wonder, is Apple TV really going to be a game changer until we see their own content streaming?
Right. Yeah, and you're right. It's only less than 5% of the business, to put that in context. However, so the thing with gaming that's really interesting with Apple is you're right that there's entrenched players right there that own the market. But where they are a little bit different is they're coming in with really a different business model than anything we've seen before, where it's this heavily community-based model. It's a low sale. They're tapping into the low-cost sales aspect of app-based games, and they're really dominant when it comes to what the industry calls casual gaming. So the biggest category, the most popular category by far on the App Store and in their operating system is gaming. A lot of casual gamers that go for app-based games. So with that sort of engagement in place, they really have a built-in engine, if you will, between the developers that build these games, the users that engage with them. And the idea with Apple TV is taking that's already very successful on their iPhone platform, if there's a way for them to bring that into the living room by translating it to the Apple TV. So that's sort of the angle that they're going in with, and they could probably, they stand a good chance to sweep up that market of kind of the low-cost casual gamers that the big guys don't really go after right now. So that's, I think, going to be their interesting play.